Hi, this is Lynn, Heaven's Ambassador for the Creating and Protecting Goddesses and Archangels over life. And yes, that is hard for me to say. A brief prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, Mother, I pray that you lift up my words. Please help me to speak as concisely as possible. And yes, they are waiting for my documents to be sent out so that they can use them. In your holy name, I pray. I lift the people up to you. Amen. In this, I have already been sending documents out and putting things online as to what I had started doing in the mid-1990s and what I officially started doing with the Law Society in January of 2001. We're going to look at this, what you might want to call a new age, but really it's a grasping of the age in which heaven and earth are linked through that tree of life. The documents I held on. I have hard copies that go back to the Law Society, the University of New Brunswick, that looks at all of my cases here in the United States. I also have, God willing, I saved my hard drives from my Canadian computer, which goes from 1997, that would have been in WordPerfect, as well as my first American computer. I have these things on floppy disks. Now, I have also moved things over into this, and you can see we no longer have it in 128. You can't even get this anymore, not that I know of. And so I'm going to open this up so that you understand that you're going to be getting some original things. And this is very difficult. Now, I realized that Elizabeth, I've been complaining about Elizabeth II having brought the red dragon back. And when I realized that Elizabeth I put the red dragon in there, as well as those fancy schmancy little lions, and yet I'm claiming that I could be Elizabeth I reincarnated, and how this links up to the goddesses, then I realized, you know, this thing of bringing this down and the ball's in my court. And so rather than asking everybody else to do it, when I ask for everybody else to make repentance and restitutions and things like that, this is part of the reason why I've come back here, things that I've had to learn, things that I need to protect. We're going to talk about Isha, Sarah. We're going to talk about Hippat, Artemis of Ephesus. We're going to talk about Isha. I already mentioned that. We're going to talk about Hinduism, the great goddess of Hinduism and elsewhere, but not today. Today, you're going to take a look at these original documents so that when you receive them, you'll know that they're real. And I've got to send the link that I'm putting online so that the ambassadors' offices and the other people can see, oh yes, they're the original documents. Now, you're going to see the dates don't quite match up, and that's because we're moving over into systems. And you know, back in 2003, when I first do this, I wasn't thinking that I was going to be doing this in 2019. Like, it didn't dawn on me that this was going to happen here. So, in order for us to get this done, all right, England, we're looking at the New Jerusalem. You know, what's up is what's down, but we need a new name, right? Here we go. Now, you're going to see that some of these things are in open documents. Some of these things are in WordPerfect. I'm just going to open it up, take it down, and let you get a brief look of three very important documents. Thank you. Maybe. Okay, let's put it on pause. Good view of my face. Let's get out of there. All right, let's put you on. All right, let's continue with this. We're going into, if this is the one, freshman syllabus. No, wrong one. Oops. Okay, I showed you the wrong, this is the one that's 128. They just told me there's a problem with this drive. They made it a crazy color. This is here. Let's go into my documents here. My pictures, my documents. Canadian computer. Let's open this up. All right. You're going to see 2003. You see all of these things that are sitting here. A lot of these things were actually written in 2001, some of them 1999, that had just never been opened. Like this one is 2001, choices, 1999. We have different things there depending upon whether or not I opened it. Let's go down to Richard. This one that says 1/2003. All right. Right here. 1/2003. Even though it says it was saved here. That's not when it was saved. All right. Now this was after Dear Mr. Richard. This is actually when it was written, January the 1st. And I'm going to go through this quickly so that when people receive it, they know that this is the original because this is what's there. All right. Just a thought, wouldn't it be much nicer to have the world diverted from its present threat of war in the Middle East to that of the beginning of the Union of the Americas? I'm not ready for this war, and no one thinks that it's going to be contained. Given that we have to unify at some point, now might be a very good time, something else to consume the psyche. Is it not time for Canadians to come of age, be real, let go of our ridiculous barriers, and get going with the new age? Here we go. Let's put you on pause. Now, let's see what this one is. This is the one where it locked on. I wrote this February the 9th, right before the war broke out. I'm going to go in and I have to remind myself to show you properties. Dear Mr. Richard, God gave me no peace. Here we go. We're going to go through this. Okay, so we're going through this now. I run across the history. What I'm about to tell you is very difficult because I do not know what I think about the issue of reincarnation. Yes, I think that we come from life and move on to other lives, but I do know if that means here on earth. I've discussed this with Tom very recently. Until the time, I've never spoken of it to anyone. I've run across the history of many famous women, but one I felt that she, the moment I heard of her. Working with emotionally handicapped people, I deal with people who have delusions. Elizabeth I. I first heard of her when I was 12, 13 years. In fact, when I was in the 10th grade, I wrote a 25-page paper on her, and I read about her. I knew what had driven her to make the kinds of decisions she did. Now, this knowledge came to me as I was just entering my Capricorn phase. After about year 15, the sense of knowing her so well went to the back of my mind, and I put it aside as a kind of hero worship until the end of my Capricorn phase. When I sat across Robert Jackson in January of 1999, I looked into his eyes and I recognized him. I knew that we had been in a similar kind of juncture before. When I meditated, I prayed to know who we were. What I got back for Robert was that he was Rabana. Robin is also the name for Robert. Robin, Queen Elizabeth's main love. She did not marry him for a few major reasons. Her father had, blah, blah, blah. Robert's name was easy. The name I got for myself was not. I got Isova. I could not find this name, and it was not linked to Elizabeth. Months later, when I was meditating, I was given the short form, Isha. Isha links to Elizabeth. Isha also means the three goddesses of the planet Jupiter. By the way, Jupiter has water, as does its moon, and it's really a feminine planet. Before male gods usurped the position. I read that some of Islam refers to Jesus as Isha. All right, so here I go on and I talk about what have I been trying to do? If Elizabeth needed to come back to help her people in the future, she would need its citizenship. I was born an American, and by taking Canadian citizenship, I'm brought into Canada and the Commonwealth. Would she not care for both, their constitutions as well and well-being? The three longest, most successful matriarchs known and peaceful to the home. And so we have all of this here. I just wanted to let you know it's here. So when you receive it, this is what you're going to get. Oh, I better go quickly. Now, I said she lived for 70 and a half years. That is when you add the other differential between 360 days in a year and 365.25 days in a year. And when you add that differential in, it's 70 and a half. Okay. Let's close that out. We're going to do, so that you understand when it was written, properties. All right. It was written, well, it says it was modified. It was actually sent out here. Let's go down here. Now you're going to see another really important one for the Union of North America. This is correct. Let's go up here and take a look for the one for the Union of North America. All right. Here, this is December 16th. The date that is actually on the Law Society says December the 12th, my birthday. That's when I sent it. What happened is when I opened this up to save it again, I guess the word perfect updated the date. So it got saved in here for some reason. This one in here, let's open it up. This is office. This should be the same document here. Let's see when it was the properties. Oops. See if I can get this up here, properties. And they're waiting for me, December 17th. Oh, and again, it went out to them on the 12th, my birthday, December the 12th, the Guadalupe. So let's open this up. Come on, you. We don't need to keep looking at that. See, right, it's got to open it up and through a different document. And it was really the 12th. It would be so awful and painful. I had no idea that so much of me could be tested and that I could survive, and it's gotten only worse. I won't, because of God. Because of God. So we're going to scroll through this. And I say, please get somebody else. The paradigm shift, what is needed, the real paradigm. Why the urgency, the U.S. and Hispania, the U.S., Europe, and Canada, toward the union of the Americas, over a millennium, the end of the world order as we know it, and would be the time called the information. All right, it's all here. Also the age of the Indians, God the trust. All right, I did not know at this time the role of the Masonic temples, and that this is not a good thing. The real paradigm shift, the Logos matrix. I talk about the musica celeste, the musica instrumentalis. I show you the mathematics and the numbers, who we are, where we're going through, string theory, chaos theory. When God asked me to put things down, it's not easy for me to do this, but I'm told that I have to do this. And I'm writing for the prophecy somewhere down the line. So all of this information is there. Okay, I have all of this information. Challenge paradigm shift, multicultural. Regional disparities. I go in when I talk about what's happening in the U.S. and North America. And I go on and I say that unless we do this, we're going to have a problem. Mexico is going to be swamped by people underneath. There's a whole discussion that goes on here. All right, here we go. Very quickly. What is the meaning of Isha? Isha is the ruling goddess, the Lord, categories, Hindu names. Isha. That is also Isha. We have a second one here. It's also, is there water on Jupiter? Okay, here we go. So I have so many things to share with you. I know they're waiting for me to get the information out. Thank you for your time. God bless.